Everyone, welcome back to another Week Rotations video. We're now week number 55 in this series where I show you everything I've worn all through the week, and it's everything from my collection. So some things may be designer, some things may be niche or indie, but most of them are gonna be cheapies because that is what I enjoy collecting and what this channel is about, with the exception of this past week. I've actually called it, and you'll probably see it from the thumbnail and the title, a samples week. And I've done this fairly often here and there, just taking a break from everything behind me and wearing samples, little decants, things I've gotten discovery sets from different houses, mostly indie houses. And for those of you who've been watching the week rotations from the very beginning, know what the majority of samples I've gotten and been working through. But starting off on the first day of last week, wore one that has been hailed as probably one of the best from this house. I've heard it hyped from everywhere, especially from Ross at TLTG Reviews, and I was not expecting what this was. I smelled a test strip, I've heard people talk about it, was not expecting the wearing experience to be what it is, but I do really like it. It is from the world of Saharov, and this one is Signature Black Rose. Some people call it Halfeti Black Rose. So there was the Signature Rosé, and then there's this one, the upgrade to it, which is Signature Black Rose. Like I said, they call it Halfeti Black Rose. I think is like the other name for it. This is one that, like it says, is very, very rosy, but it's actually a way less forward rose than the Signature Rosé. It's way more tame, way back, not as terpanic or tampanic, and not as like floral, bitter, sour as most rose notes can come across. You can smell a little bit from the atomizer, which this atomizer actually was giving me trouble. It was like stopped up, started leaking everywhere. So hopefully I can get the remaining juice out of this at some point. But it was actually a little fresher than I thought. It had a little bit of deepness and like depth to it. It's basically like Signature Rosé mixed with Signature Pour Homme. Had the Pour Homme like musky, animalic, retro, old school, masculine vibe to it. The aromatics and the citruses mixed with rosé, with that rose, like I said, but not as floral forward, more of a fresher, deeper rose, a little bit of sweetness in there, like very, very subtle, but not as dark as I expected. More of a very deep, mature, kind of fleshed out rose fragrance. One that you can wear easily spring, fall, winter, day or night, maybe summertime and like the cooler nights on the date or whatnot. Very mature, very classy. It's absolutely spectacular. I just hate, like I said, that the atomizer started like leaking everywhere, wouldn't spray right, even though it sprayed good at morning time. By the time I sprayed it and refreshed it again in the evening, it just did not go that well. But yeah, I did have to refresh it again. Not the best performance as far as I can tell, as far as projection, pretty okay as far as longevity. It is like an X-Straight, I believe, but yeah, really good, really nice, great quality. One that I will more than likely get a like full-size bottle of, or at least not like a half-size bottle that they have, but not one that is like way out there like some of the other ones I've had from them, but one that I did really enjoy. And like I said, as far as people who don't like rose, I think you would like this. I absolutely love rose, so I really love this one, but it's a very easygoing one, definitely more than I expected. But yeah, one that I did like, highly recommend it. If you get a chance to sample anything from Saharov, definitely put this in the list of all the samples you buy from them, because this one is really good. And the next day on Monday, the first work day of the week, wore one that I talked about last week at the very end of my week rotation, that I was gonna wear this, like I think later that Saturday night. I did wear a little bit of it, but I wore majority of it that Monday. It is a sample I got from Fragrance Net, and I did order with them, and they've been putting these little Ajmal samples in their orders recently. I don't know why. I guess they have surplus of them, just putting them everywhere. This is one that I really, really like from them. Again, by Ajmal, it is called Hot Cora Wood. So this is actually based on, because Hot Cora, I found out, is actually a type of lemon. So it's based on Hot Cora lemon, a very unique citrus lemon on the top. Has a little bit of a deeper sweetness, not so sour, not so tart. Has a depth to it, a little bit of a, like I said, sweetness, a little bit, I want to say woody factor in there. A little subtle on the tartness, but it blends very well with the woods that are in here. Very, very woody fragrance. This is kind of the bulk of it. Has a little bit of fresh musk in there as well, but more what you get is a citric, sweet, woody fragrance. Very, very dry woods. A lot of oud in here as well. You spray it up a whole lot, you're gonna get an animalic funkiness in here. And I hate that I don't have any more left in this. I use this thing up all the way because it has pretty good longevity for its first little bit. Dries off very quickly, at least on me it did. Maybe if I get a full-size bottle, it'd be different. And then I sprayed it again on my lunch break just to go back. Did get compliments with this. My coworker really, really loved this one. And man, this stuff is fantastic, even though it is on the little more expensive side, especially as far as like Middle Eastern clones. Even though this isn't really a clone, it smells very much original. It is a little bit expensive, even at discounters. It's like $80 for a full-size bottle, but one I actually would consider getting. If you are a wood fragrance lover, you have to check this out. Literally one you can wear year round, spring, summer, fall, winter. Just don't spray so much up in the summertime, even though it does have a nice citric blast on the top. Again, fresh, musky, airy, but then quickly gets into that funky, dark, smoky, earthy oud and a lot of dry woodiness. And as it dries down, that skin scent is absolutely gorgeous. This is literally like art in the bottle. And there's another one from Ajmal coming up that is very similar as far as like the quality. But yeah, this one, fantastic. If you get a chance to sample it, highly recommend it, especially if you're a wood fragrance lover. You've got to check this out. That nighttime, speaking of smoky woods, wore one that's probably the smokiest wood fragrance that I've ever smelled, and one that I have amongst my collection. This one's from Imagining Authors, and warning, a lot of these are gonna be from Imagining Authors, and this one is called A City on Fire, a classic from them. Anyone sampling their stuff has to try this out. I know George from The Fragrance Apprentice, George Atkinson, absolutely loves this fragrance, but the way he describes it, I do not get in this at all. Very, very smoky, like liquid smoke in a bottle. Like you might as well take a liquid smoke and just spray yourself up with it. Smells like the most chemical, harsh, like barbecue you could smell. Smells like you just came out of volunteer firefighting from a house fire. Super, super smoky, but like a thick, almost syrupy style smoke, which is why I said it smells like liquid smoke. But as it dries down and it tames that smokiness, you do get more of the woods in here. A little musky airiness is, well, not fresh at all, but it does have a little bit of a lightness that goes through once that smoke starts dissipating. I don't really get the vanillic, sweet marshmallow, like burnt marshmallow kind of style like George, claims that he smells in this. I don't get really any vanillic sweetness. It is maybe a tad bit in there on the very, very low dry down. Mostly what you're getting is like liquid smoke poured over wood is what you get with this, but still very transportive. It smells like a city on fire, but one that is very interesting and unique. If you really love smoky fragrances, do yourself a favor, sample this. It lasted well the rest of the night, especially the way I sprayed it up, and there still is some left in here, so I'm gonna have to find someone out there around me that wants to sample a smoky fragrance. But yeah, one that I do like, I appreciate for the art, but not one that I'll be getting a full bottle of. And the next day on Tuesday, like I said, I wore another Ajmal sample that I got from FragranceNet, and this one I mentioned 2 weeks ago, I believe, or 2 or 3 weeks ago as a sample that I got, and I absolutely love this stuff. This is cheaper, so I'm more likely we'll get a full bottle of this. Again, my Ajmal, and it's called Song of Oud, a very unisex fragrance. And I actually think I mentioned this in a comment back to someone on my channel where they mentioned another alternative to like Initio's Oud for Greatness and like things like Hautane or PDM. Very much in that style. Oud for Greatness, between Oud for Greatness and Hautane, but with a twist of fruity florals in here, way more fresh than any of the two. Definitely way fresher than any of the clones, especially like Bondial Oud, Oud for Glory, things like that. Like a fruity, floral, musky, fresh airiness to it. Makes this a lot more wearable, a lot more versatile, but literally taking that profile, lessening the saffron metallic nature of that and the smoky burnt rubber kind of aspect some people get, and putting a lot of fruits, a lot of sweetness, white florals, absolutely turning this thing on its head. And I think it improves it in every possible, does not compromise on quality. And actually this stuff is fairly inexpensive online as well. I think I saw a bottle for like $30, $40 between there, so I will definitely get this. This is definitely one you can wear year round, spring, summer, fall, winter, easily spring and fall time of the day. I think even more in spring. It has that, like I said, floral, fruity freshness to it. Perfectly unisex, right down the middle, but as it dries down, it does have a more woody, almost oud kind of masculine aspect. So it starts off being straight unisex and dries down being something that is a little more masculine with a lot more floral freshness. But this stuff is fantastic. Like I said, imagine Oud for Greatness and Hautema PDM right smack dab in the middle and twist it with fruity, sweet florals and that airy, musky freshness. This thing is fantastic. Love it. Cannot recommend trying it enough. If you do happen to sample this or you get a full bottle or whatnot and you see what you think about it, let me know, because I actually really like this stuff. And then at nighttime, we're another one by Imagining Authors, and this one actually shares a note that is in that Song for Oud, which is iris. If you don't get a whole lot of it in there, just a little bit of a powdery nature in that, but in this one, you get a lot of it. And this one, I think, has actually been discontinued by them recently, and this is called Oh Unknown. A lot of people swear by this too as being a very great, like, niche iris fragrance, but I don't really get a whole lot of uniqueness from it. It is very irisy on the opening, a little sweet, very powdery, a little fresh. It actually has a strong similarity to the style of iris you get with like Dior Homme Intense, especially in Givenchy's style of gentleman line, that style of iris. You get a lot of it in here, but right behind it, you get that weird ambrette, musky, powdery nature that Josh Meyer, who's the perfumer for Imaginary Authors, puts in like almost every single one of his fragrances. I think it's like a signature thing he does. You do get a lot of that in here and a lot of dry woodiness. I think there's actually like a papyrus or paper note in here, like a dry piece of paper, like old style, thick, like canvas style paper. You do get that in here. So imagine a very iris fragrance, but very dry with a lot of woods in it. Not so much sweetness, not so much vanilla, not so much a lot of ambers, maybe like ambrette and things like that, but really just dry woods and iris right along with it. But still one that's very nice, very like mature, not really gonna be so playful and youthful. It's very much unisex, but I think a little more masculine because of the woodiness in here. One that lasted pretty okay through the night, but like I said, it does have a weird kind of musky facet as it dries down that you don't really like. I really love the opening. The opening in this is fantastic, but not one that I will, again, go and get a full bottle, which I mean, it's discontinued anyway, but still one that I did enjoy. It's nice, but there's a lot of other iris fragrances out there that I will enjoy more than this, but still one that I appreciate and was glad that I got to experience it before it went away. Then the next day on Wednesday, we're another one to work that I absolutely love. And this has also been discontinued and I hate it because this is probably my absolute favorite Imaginary Authors fragrance that I've ever tried, besides a couple others, but this is probably right up there at the top, and I really hate it was discontinued. I had a chance to get a full bottle of it when they sent out an email saying that it was going away, and I didn't get it because I hadn't sampled it yet and I wasn't sure about it, but now I think I will be going out to find a full bottle of it. And the one I'm talking about is this one from them called Whispered Myths, a very polarizing and controversial one among the community. And you look at the ratings on Fragrantica and it's like very, very disliked or really, really liked, and it's like way back and forth. But I personally believe this is probably one of the best niche indie fragrances that could have ever been out there. I really hope they bring this back because this is one that is a very fresh, watery, musky, light, airy, almost sparkling style of melon, like almost like cantaloupe melon on the top. I think there's also honey in here, a tad bit of sweetness paired with a little bit of aquatics in here. And as it dries down, actually in the opening you get as well a Cambodian oud note in here, a lot of dry woodiness with a little bit of sweetness overlaid. So basically what you get is a aquatic, fresh melon oud fragrance, which you would not think could go together, but man, this stuff is fantastic. Talk about a journey, very fresh, like I said, air, aquatic, ozonic, and a little bit of funkiness from oud, and you start going down to some sweetness, and then that dry woods along with that oud come out. This stuff is amazing. You start off fresh and light and end with something that's very sultry and a little mature. That skin scent is just wonderful with the woodiness and the ambers and the musk that is very heavy and hefty. This stuff is, I love this so much. I can't express it. This is the style of perfumery that I absolutely enjoy, which is something that you don't smell a lot out there, but you wish more people did things like it. And again, I hate that it was discontinued. It literally was discontinued like a month or two after I got the sample in, but I'm definitely going out there on eBay or wherever else, if any of you even know, and try to get even if a half-size used bottle of this out there, because man, I love this. It's so interesting, so unique, and you don't think the notes would go together, but it is seamless, it is well blended. I really hope they bring this back because they have brought back discontinued ones in like 2.0, 3.0 formulations, and I really hope they bring this back. And it was actually okay performance overall. I did have to refresh with it on my lunch break because I did love that opening. I just want a little bit stronger and refresh perfectly, but about that 4 to 5 hour mark, like with noticeable projection, then it dried down pretty quick after that, but still one that was, I think you can wear this year round, especially spring and fall, and that freshness and that oud woodiness. Love this stuff. If somehow you ever get the chance to try this, whether a decant or a secondhand sample, or a friend of yours out there has a bottle, you get to smell it or whatever, do yourself a favor and try this out. Again, fresh melon, aquatic, honey oud. This stuff is fantastic. Really hate it's gone, but maybe one day they'll bring it back. Then that nighttime warm one that I talked about before, so I'm not gonna go a whole lot through it. This is one I got as a decant sample from my brother-in-law who gave it to me because he said it wasn't his style, but I actually Really enjoy it. It is by Xerjoff, and it is Neo Rio Fluo, or Fluo. This is Fluo Green. Basically, it is a line from Xerjoff that's called Neo Rio Fluo, I believe, and they all come in different like neon colored bottles, some pink, orange, purple, and green. And this one is from the green one, but they're all the same fragrance as far as I'm aware. But this is one very, very sweet boozy, like noticeable booze, very sweet, almost caramelly sugar, a lot of oud, kind of woodiness, deep woods. I think there's oud in here as well, but tobacco, ashy, a little smoky, earthy, but overall, it's a sweet, woody booze fragrance, and this stuff is phenomenal with performance. I mean, super loud, lasts forever. You barely touch your skin at any point later in the night, and you're gonna smell it on your hand as well. Like, this stuff is so good, and I didn't have to spray a whole lot, so there's still a good bit of the sample left because this is a really good performer, but one that is very nice. If you do get a chance to decant it and try it out, highly recommend it because, like I said, if you love deep, like sweet fragrances for the winter time, this is a great one to go with. Then that next day, wore another Imagining Authors fragrance. This is one, again, that most people probably don't think of as a daytime or office wear fragrance, but I did see where a lot of people did vote that they enjoyed this in the daytime, so I decided to try it out. And this is one by them called Yesterday Haze. I did use up a good bit of this one because it was at the top, and I did, I think, refresh it midway in the day. But this is one that is very, it has, like I said before with that Oh Unknown, it has that weird kind of ambrette, dry, woody muskiness, like skin scent kind of thing. I don't know what it is with it that Josh Meyer puts in a lot of his stuff, but, or maybe Josh Meyer, I forgot the name, but very sweet, nutty in the opening, a little bit of a, like I said, dry muskiness and woodiness. It's a very interesting fragrance. It's hard to describe, but it's mostly a sweet, nutty, little vanillic, powdery fragrance. One that is perfect for daytime or nighttime, probably more for the spring, fall, and winter, not really for the summertime. Didn't really like this one. Nothing that really stood out to me. Didn't hate it, didn't regret spraying it, but one that as it dried down, it did have that weird musk factor to it that was a little dry, powdery, and I didn't quite like it, but one that I would suggest to try out. Again, one from there, if you get a big sample kit from them and it's in there, or you have the choice to put it in there, just put it in there, try it out. But one that I'm not really gonna say is a standout from the house. There's a lot of other good ones. So yeah, again, I appreciate it, but really not for me. And that nighttime wore one that is really for me, that really surprised me. Another one that is probably one of the top tier ones from them, not surpassing Mr. Smith's, but one that I did really enjoy and did not expect liking. It is another one by Imagining Authors, and this one's called Slow Explosions. And surprisingly, I saw a perfumer's list on a forum of fragrances that him as a perfumer really enjoy, and this was actually on there. After I had worn it, I saw that list, and so I could agree with him on that. At first, when you spray this on a test strip like I did, when you try to sample it and you get the thing in, you're gonna be like, it's another rose oud or rose leather fragrance. Not really for me, another Middle Eastern inspiration. Don't like it, smelled everything like it, don't want it. But actually, after spraying this on skin, really enjoy it. This is a literal rose leather fragrance, but it's not gonna be one like you'd expect that you smelled everywhere else, or at least not to me. This actually had a very smooth rose to it. It didn't end up very sour, it didn't end up bitter, it didn't end up very terpanic, however the word, it hasn't had a lot of terpenes in it, that very weird floral bitterness. Didn't have that, didn't have that weird edginess. It was very smooth, and the leather that was in here wasn't so much like a very strong animalic leather, a very clean, almost fresh style of leather, along with the rose that was very smooth. Basically, it smelled like if Salvador Ferragamo did a rose with the style of leather they do, this is exactly what it would be like. Super wearable, super nice. Like I said, even though it is rose and leather, and you could definitely wear this in spring, fall, and winter, had a little bit of freshness to it, a little lightness to it, perfectly for day or nighttime in those seasons. Really enjoyed this, and I could not believe as I wore it how soft and blended and smooth it was. I was very much taken back. Totally different on skin than it was on a test strip. Really enjoyed this one. This is probably one that I will eventually get a full-size bottle of, hopefully before they decide to discontinue it, and hopefully they never do. But yeah, Slow Explosions. If you like rose and you like leather, but you want a very smooth, fresh take on it, definitely get this one. It's very nice. Then that last day of the work week on Friday wore another one that I've talked about before multiple times from a company that I've also talked about multiple times. It's by Scent Trunk, and this one is called Saffron. I consider this one of the best saffron fragrances that I have ever smelled so far in the niche and indie world, especially one that centers on the note of saffron. This is such a wearable but realistic natural saffron. You can see the color of it too. I don't think that's just dye. I think that's actually from the natural saffron that the perfumer uses in this. It is so saffron forward, but it's not metallic, it is not tinny, it's a little spicy, very smooth, actually a little fresh. I think you could probably wear this almost year round aside from the high heat of summer. Has a little powdery nature, a little muskiness in here, maybe slight soft woods and a very slight spiciness, but man, this mainly saffron you get, and it dries down being something that is fairly masculine leaning. Actually reminds me a little bit of the old school masculine classy style of fragrances that used to be, you know, from days old, but really love this. Again, this is a sample, but this is probably one I will consider getting a larger size bottle of from Scent Trunk, and as long as it's still in production, which I believe as of now it still is. But yeah, one that if you do get a sample kit from Scent Trunk, and I think you can get their, what's the one, like the unusual kit or unofficial kit or something like that, it will have this in there. Highly recommend trying this out and seeing what you think about it. Again, if you love saffron, but you want something that is more wearable, fresh, a little floral aspect in here too, that is something that is way more easy to enjoy, this is the best one I can suggest going with. Again, I consider it the best indie niche style of saffron centered fragrance that you can get. Love this stuff. And then that nighttime, y'all know my usual Friday night routine, going with wife and baby out shopping, grocery shopping, things like that. Got a lot of fragrances too, by the way, which I will talk about way later on. But I wore one that was breaking away from the niche indie sample realm that I've been going with for the whole other week. Wore one that I got in as a sample from Fragrance Net. Absolutely love this stuff. It's been hyped to the moon and back in the designer fragrance community, really the fragrance community in general. It is by Jean Paul Gaultier, and it is Le Male Le Parfum. I really love this stuff. I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about it because everybody else already knows what it's like. And if you haven't tested it or sampled it, what are you doing? Go out to a retail store, spray it in your skin, try it out, or buy a sample like I did. This stuff is phenomenal. It is like the regular Le Male profile, that lavender, tonka, vanilla, powdery, sweet, a little bit of freshness, but this adds a lot of cardamom and also adds a note of iris, adding in a little bit of a powdery, spicy, floral aspect to it, a little deeper, a little richer, but the cardamom that comes across in this is not gonna be anything like the cardamom style that you're used to getting from like L'Envie de l'Homme and things like that. It's very much a little more subdued, a little less powdery, but more spicy, dry style of cardamom. And again, along with that iris, the iris takes up the powdery aspect of it. And this does have that vanilla, but it's not as sweet as I was expecting, a little more dialed back. Definitely the more mature, upscale, kind of classy take on the Le Male line. Even Le Male Elixir is definitely way sweeter than this. This is definitely the more, you know, tame, sophisticated version of the Le Male line, but one that I really like. Did not expect the cardamom to be so spicy dry, but as it dries down, again, musk, little ambers, warmth, things like that. But man, this stuff is fantastic. Smell myself all the way through the night. Not a super loud projection. Then again, it was from a sample, so I didn't get a whole lot of coverage, but I did spray up as much as I could while trying to leave a little bit in the vial. But yeah, it did project pretty well for that first like hour and a half, but then it dried off being more of a skin scent, whereas it is a parfum, you know, concentration, which is gonna be a little more subdued than most of the, you know, other concentrations. But yeah, I did really love this. I am more than likely going to get a full-size bottle, or at least a very good clone of this, but I kind of want to get the real deal, or at least like maybe I can use this and test out some clones and see how accurate they are. But yeah, love this stuff. It's hype for a reason. Not everyone out there loves it, but this is one that if I do get it, it will be a staple in my collection without a doubt. And then today, Saturday, me and my wife and baby went out to her mom's house, you know, so the baby can have some grandson, grandma time. And I wore one that I haven't really worn a whole lot of, but a lot of people that know this house say this is one of the classics from them. I have 2 samples of this actually on accident, ended up with 2 and double dosed on everything. But it's one that I actually really enjoyed. Haven't worn a whole lot of it, and I don't know why, because I wore it today and I absolutely adored it. It's by Libre d'Orange, and this one is called Tom of Finland. And I thought originally that I grabbed a different one, but apparently it was this one here. This is one that is gonna come across not like you'd expect. You see Tom of Finland and you see the leather notes that are listed, and you think it'd be very animalic, very, you know, harsh, almost smoky, especially from a niche house like Ita de Luda Orange, but it's actually a very clean, suede, musky, fluffy, almost vanillic, ambery, slight balsamic kind of style of leather. It's very smooth, like probably the smoothest leather fragrance I've smelled aside from things from Salvador Ferragamo, as far as something that is leather forward, but it's, again, not really like leather. It's like a suede, a little smooth, fluffy. Absolutely love this. Probably one of the most wearable leather fragrances you can wear, and it's, again, a leather themed fragrance that doesn't smell like a leather themed fragrance. Like I said, I sprayed it on, thought it was a totally different sample, went back, looked at it, and I saw that it was Tom of Finland and knew that it was a leather based one. So I didn't even pick out the leather all that much unless you really know it's in there or unless you're very familiar with that style of leather. But yeah, imagine a very soft, subtle leather, but a lot of, again, fluffy white musk, a little sweet vanilla, maybe a little bit of that clean laundry kind of thing, and a lot of ambers in there. Super, super nice, easily wearable for most of the year round, probably except for the high heat of summer, but man, this stuff is great. I really, really did like it, and probably one that now that I've worn it more today, and I'm probably gonna have a lot more left to wear it more later, I'm more likely to get a full-size bottle of it at some point. But yeah, love this stuff. Lasted literally all day. I can smell it pretty well on me, especially on my clothes. So yeah, definitely recommend trying it out if you ever get a sample from them. And then tonight, in a little bit, I'm gonna spray on this sample, another one from Imaginary Authors, and it's another one that everyone says that is a classic. And if you wanna try something very interesting, especially if you love sweet fragrances, to try this out. It is by them, called A Whiff of Waffle Cone. This literally smells exactly like what the name says. It is a very vanillic caramel, like salted caramel, sweet ice cream. You smell the waffle cone, the little bit of a buttery kind of style to it, and a huge dose of what smells like maple syrup. Like, it's probably the main thing you get from this, but yeah, like pancake syrup stuff. This stuff is super, super sweet without being overly sweet. It's actually very well balanced. You think it's gonna hit that threshold of being, I just don't like it. It's going to hit there. I'm not gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be unwearable, and it backs off. And you're like, wow, that's actually very cool, because super sweet without being overdosed. It's very realistic, very immersive, and also one that has great projection, really fills up a room when you first spray it, but dries off actually pretty quickly after a couple of hours. So one that, if you want a good burst of sweetness, for that first little bit is very loud, you can spray it and, you know, rest assured that as you wear it through, it is gonna die down pretty quickly, but still one that for that first little bit when you are smelling it, you're gonna be the sweetest, maybe best smelling person, at least at the area you're at. But yeah, man, this stuff is great. If you, again, get a chance to sample anything from Imaginary Authors, this is on the top list of things that you should try. And there you guys, all the things I've worn all through the week, all the samples I've worn, anything that you've sampled from these houses, let me know what you think. If you have tried or have a full bottle of any of these here, or you have all of these, let me know what your favorite is, the things that you enjoy more than others, maybe some things that, hey, if you like this house, have you tried this one? I highly recommend this one. I'd love to hear all your suggestions and recommendations in the comments below, and also all your comments and the things that you enjoy as well. And as usual, if you enjoy this video, if you like what you've seen here, please consider giving the video a like and a thumbs up. Let me know that you enjoyed it and you want me to keep making these videos, these week rotations, that you do get something out of it. I'd love to hear back from you. And if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, but you do like what you've seen here or what you've seen elsewhere on the channel, I encourage you to please consider supporting the channel by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you can see all the things that I'm working on and planning in the background to bring out to you guys for all of you to watch and enjoy. I'd love for you to be rolling with me on this cheap and inexpensive fragrance journey, and hey, maybe I can even help you discover something new along the way. And just to add this in real quick, I will be wearing a viewer suggested rotation this week. I posted a poll out on the community tab all end of last week, and all of you voted whether I should wear this or whether I should wear this. So you probably can go see which one won, but be sure to tune in for the next one to see what all I wore in accordance to the winner of that poll. But again, guys, that's all I have for this video. Again, thank you for being here and for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And I will see all of you again in the next video. Be blessed.